In today's brief lecture, we will explore how to decipher bacterial genomes through a unified workflow for sample preparation and data analysis. Throughout this session, I will guide you through the complete bacterial genome sequencing pipeline, from sample preparation and DNA quality assessment to sequencing strategies, genome assembly, genome annotation, and some basic downstream bioinformatics analysis. Before we begin discussing the workflow, let's first look at the 5 major next-generation sequencing, or NGS, technologies that are commonly used in bacterial research. Each of these technologies is designed to answer different biological questions, so choosing the right approach depends on your research objectives. The first technology is bacterial whole genome sequencing, or WGS. This approach sequences the entire genome of a single bacterial isolate, providing the highest level of genetic resolution. It is widely used for bacterial identification, outbreak investigations, antimicrobial resistance gene detection, virulence factor analysis, comparative genomics, phylogenetic studies, and epidemiological surveillance. If your goal is to characterize an individual bacterial strain in detail, whole genome sequencing is generally the preferred method. The second technology is 16S ribosomal RNA gene sequencing, also known as 16S amplicon sequencing. Instead of sequencing the entire genome, this method targets the highly conserved 16S ribosomal RNA gene, allowing researchers to identify and profile bacterial communities in complex samples. It is commonly applied in microbiome studies involving environmental samples, soil, water, food, and the human gut microbiome. While 16S sequencing provides an excellent overview of microbial community composition, it offers limited information about the functional capabilities of those microorganisms. The third technology is RNA sequencing, or RNA-Seq. Unlike whole genome sequencing, which tells us what genes are present, RNA-Seq reveals which genes are actively being expressed under specific conditions. By sequencing messenger RNA, researchers can investigate bacterial physiology, stress responses, pathogenicity, host-pathogen interactions, and gene regulation. Transcriptomics is an essential tool for understanding how bacteria respond to environmental changes at the transcriptional level. The fourth technology is shotgun metagenomic sequencing. Rather than targeting a single genetic marker like the 16S ribosomal RNA gene, shotgun metagenomics sequences all DNA present in a sample. This enables researchers to identify bacteria, archaea, fungi, viruses, and other microorganisms simultaneously. In addition to taxonomic profiling, shotgun metagenomics also reveals functional genes, antimicrobial resistance genes, virulence factors, and metabolic pathways. As a result, it provides a much more comprehensive view of microbial communities than 16S sequencing. The fifth technology is single-cell next-generation sequencing. This advanced approach analyzes the genome or transcriptome of individual microbial cells. It is particularly valuable for studying unculturable microorganisms, rare microbial populations, and cellular heterogeneity within complex communities. Single-cell sequencing allows researchers to investigate microorganisms that are difficult or impossible to culture in the laboratory, opening new opportunities in microbial ecology, evolutionary biology, and infectious disease research. Next, let's talk about the key steps involved in preparing a bacterial sample for whole genome sequencing, or WGS. The first step is isolation of bacteria from the original sample. These samples may come from soil, water, food, clinical specimens, environmental surfaces, or other types of matrices, depending on the research objective. The second step is to obtain a pure bacterial culture. This is typically achieved by streaking the isolate onto an agar plate or using other purification approaches to separate individual bacterial colonies. The third step is extremely important for ensuring sample purity. Pick a single, well-isolated colony and perform approximately 3 consecutive passages using that same colony lineage. This helps confirm that the culture is derived from a single bacterial strain and minimizes the risk of contamination by other microorganisms. The fourth step is genomic DNA extraction and quality control. After sufficient bacterial biomass has been obtained, extract the genomic DNA and evaluate its quality, concentration, and integrity using appropriate QC methods such as spectrophotometry, fluorometric quantification, and gel electrophoresis. Finally, once the DNA passes quality control, submit the sample for whole genome sequencing. The sequencing provider will then proceed with library preparation, sequencing, and data generation for downstream bioinformatics analysis. Now let's talk about an important question: what actually makes a bacterial genome worth publishing? In modern microbial genomics, simply sequencing and assembling a genome is usually not sufficient. A publishable genome typically needs to show some level of biological novelty, functional importance, or ecological relevance. For example, one of the strongest forms of novelty is the discovery of a new bacterial species or even a new genus, which is supported by genomic evidence such as average nucleotide identity, or ANI analysis. When a genome is clearly distinct from known reference strains, it may represent a completely new taxonomic lineage. In other cases, the value comes from functional novelty, such as unique antimicrobial resistance mechanisms, or the presence of previously uncharacterized biosynthetic gene clusters that may encode novel natural products. Similarly, genomes that contain specialized metabolic pathways, such as those involved in pollutant degradation or bioremediation, are highly valuable, especially when these functions can be linked to real environmental activity. Another important example includes clinically or environmentally significant organisms, such as pathogenic strains that are associated with disease outbreaks, or bacteria that are specifically adapted to host-associated environments like the gut or plant microbiome. These genomes help us understand infection mechanisms, host interactions, and microbial ecology. We also often see important contributions from metagenome assembled genomes, or MAGs, particularly when they represent previously unknown microbial diversity. Likewise, organisms isolated from extreme environments, such as high temperature, high salinity, or acidic conditions, can reveal unique genetic strategies for survival under stress. So in summary, a bacterial genome becomes truly impactful when it goes beyond just sequence data and tells a broader biological story, whether that is taxonomic discovery, functional innovation, ecological specialization, or clinical relevance. For Illumina short-read sequencing, the workflow begins with genomic DNA being fragmented into smaller pieces. These DNA fragments are then ligated with sequencing adapters, which allow them to be amplified and sequenced on the Illumina platform. Once sequencing is completed, the raw reads generated are subjected to quality control processing, which includes trimming low-quality bases, removing adapter sequences, and polishing the reads to improve overall data accuracy. After this pre-processing step, bioinformatics tools are used to assemble the short reads into longer contiguous sequences, known as contigs, and subsequently into draft genome assemblies. This step reconstructs the original genome from the fragmented sequencing data. If the assembly meets quality control standards, such as completeness, contamination thresholds, and contiguity, the genome can then be further refined. In some workflows, the final assembled genome may be circularized into a complete chromosome structure, especially for bacterial genomes that naturally exist as circular DNA molecules. From there, the high-quality genome assembly is ready for downstream bioinformatics analysis, including annotation, comparative genomics, and functional interpretation. Before we move into downstream analysis in future lecture sessions, let's first understand some of the key file formats used in bacterial genome sequencing workflows. The raw sequencing data is initially stored in the FASTQ format, which contains both the nucleotide sequences and their corresponding quality scores. This is a very important file to retain, because it allows you to reprocess the data in the future when improved algorithms or new analysis pipelines become available. After quality control, trimming, and genome assembly, the processed data is typically reconstructed into a FASTA file, often with a .fna extension for nucleotide sequences. This file represents the assembled genome sequence and is widely accepted by most bioinformatics analysis platforms as the standard input format for downstream analysis. Next, the genome is subjected to gene prediction and annotation, where coding sequences regions are identified from the assembled genome. These coding regions are then translated into protein sequences, which are stored in AFAA file format. This protein-level file is particularly important because many downstream analysis tools, such as average amino acid identity calculators and KEGG pathway annotation systems, require protein sequences as input for functional and comparative genomic analysis. Thank you for watching. If you found this tutorial helpful, make sure to comment, like, share, and subscribe for more content.